Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards because Commander's number one. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined today with both Brian and Slothy. Slothy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, thanks. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. I worked all weekend and I didn't like it. Wasn't fun, but next weekend I should have nothing to do but cards. Nothing but card things, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like the perfect world scenario.
Doesn't sound too bad, right? And how are you doing, Brian?
Oh, excellent. We got some great games in there on Friday. And we had my good friend Jesse on, which you introduced into some new cards.
I like to do that. I give and I take, right, Brian? I give and I take.
You sure do.
These were some funny games. I feel bad for the choke play.
Yeah, that was rough.
Did you see any of the stream, Slothy, this weekend?
I saw a little bit.
In the last game, one of our friends was playing an enchant deck and got an early Dryad of Elysian Grove out. And I played choke, so he couldn't untap for the rest of the game. And then he finally almost got around it with a bunch of other things, and I board wiped all those creatures except for the Dryad. Woo. It was
monster.
Yeah, he even tried to attack people. He was like, I swing my Elysian Grove alley.
That was a rough one.
Everyone was like, I'll take damage.
That was disrespectful, that game. But it is what it is. There's a bunch of new stuff I'm going to be making out of this new set, like just a ton, and it's going to hurt me financially.
Not unless.
Oh no, definitely. There is no not unless. A lot of these commanders aren't optional to build. It's in my blood to build them.
It is, and what's funny is that you talk about, I think I'm going to take some decks apart. If I'm going to build all these commanders.
Yeah, maybe I'll still take decks apart. You don't know me. You don't know my life, Brian.
Again, I could put some money on it, Daniel.
Yeah. Two things are going to happen. One, I'm not going to be on time, and two, I'm building new commanders.
He'll never actually go below the number that he currently has.
I might. We never know.
Take apart 20. I build 40.
I was going to say it's right under 500, but it's
perfectly balanced.
Perfectly balanced. I don't think it's even under 500 anymore. I think it's already over, and that's before. There's like a ton in here that I want to build, like 20 or 30.
It's all one so far, and I think it might be one of the face commanders. Are the pair ups or the team ups? Are those going to be the actual commanders?
No. Well, some of them are in the commander decks, but
okay. So
to
get the one I want, I might have to buy the deck I don't actually want to buy.
It depends which one you want. You know?
Yeah.
Let's start right into spoilers because there's going to be a ton. We might have to two-part this episode, so we'll see what we're looking like for time. But let's jump into it. Someone take this first one because I'm taking the second.
Sure. Slothy, why don't you start us off? Yeah.
Sure. We got Archangel Elspeth, 2 double white for a 4 loyalty planeswalker Elspeth. +1 to create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. -2, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types and gains flying. Or -6, return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
I just wish she said humans. Create a 1/1 white human soldier. If she did, she would slot into so many decks perfectly. Like, I went out, I bought her other planeswalker for Trin and Sylvar until I realized it did not specify humans.
Yeah.
You got to remember, though, this Sun Titan ability at the bottom is really good. Really, really good. Especially because it protects itself the whole time getting to it. Right?
No, and like you mentioned, the better planeswalkers are ones that are able to protect themselves as they try to get to their ultimates.
Well, the other thing too is that the 2/1 counters on target creature and making it a flying angel, that's also a strong ability.
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
that would go well in an angel deck. I think you'll be slotting that into some of yours.
That would go well in a token deck, or any deck where you're trying to get your commander through for damage and stuff like that. There's a lot of
fine.
Next card we have is what I'm like the most excited to build. I'm probably going to build 2 or 3 versions of this one alone. I love the artwork of both. This is such a silly card. It's Borborygmos and Fibblethip. Is that how you say it, Slothy?
Yep.
Borborygmos, yeah.
Yep.
It's 2, 1 green, 1 blue, 1 red for a 6/5 Cyclops homunculus. And it just gets sillier and sillier as it goes. Whenever Borborygmos and Fibblethip, I'm going to call it Bobby and Fibblethip attack, you draw a card, then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard 1 or more cards this way, Bobby, my good friend here, and Fibblethip deals twice that much damage to target creature. And then 1 and a blue, you put Bobby and Fibblethip into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. I love every part of this design. A lot of people were unhappy that you can't like any target this, but it's a double damage thing. Of course you can't any target it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a deck that's like cycling damage at things. It's got built-in draw. There's no downside to that draw. It's on ETB and attack. It's not draw and then discard. It's draw and you may discard, and that may discard is a removal outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're playing a kind of deck style where you want stuff in the graveyard, you can just pitch it because you are playing in blue.
Right. Well, there's just tons of reset, tons of like green's got lots of things that can let you play lands from the grave. I don't see any problem with this kind of stuff.
That's very true, actually. I didn't even think about pitching lands. And
like I said, you're already set up to do double damage, right? We've got our normal like things like a Brash Taunter, like a Stuffy Doll, those kind of things, which are like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then we also have like cards like... I'm busting into next week's deck tech already. We've got Repercussion, we've got Tore Off. We're going to be sitting there hurling like 10 lands at a time to do 20 damage, and then I've got a Fiery Emancipation out for triple damage and beat face with Bobby. Yeah.
Never mind. I can understand why it's a target creature. So you make a good argument.
So there's that, but then there's also a fun thing. Like, again, I'm spending too much time on one card for the spoiler, but I love this card. I love every part of the design of it. I really like this ability to protect itself by going into the library. I think that's super interesting. Like, I think that's like a really fun build style to like jump it in to the library. But this is also infinite comboable.
Oh, do tell. I'm terrible at these, so.
Well, it like just if you get like your normal like Food Chain, Mist Hollow Griffin, Squee, you've got like all of the colors you would care about for a Food Chain deck in here, and this is a draw on everything. So it's like you'd be able to with a Food Chain and like a Squee or like one of the infinite mana creatures, you can infinite draw your deck, which means you're holding every land in your deck to like toss at everyone. It looks like it won't be a problem to cycle through this one pretty aggressively.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, there's a bunch that I'm real excited for that one.
As we heard.
there's it's just such a cool design space, right? Like I said, it looks like I think I've got a pretty
and the
fun
artwork's
deck.
Cool too.
Yeah. And I love Fibblethip as a card, so
I guess I should grab the next one here.
You can also Proteus staff it.
What's Proteus staff do? Please do tell.
You shuffle a creature you control into its, or you put on the bottom, and then you reveal cards till you reveal a creature. So Bobby and Fibblethip are the only creature in this deck, and then Fibblethip would re-enter. You would draw the card, and then it lets you restack your library. You put the cards back in any order. So then you put something like Goblin Charlebelcher up top, hit everyone for like 30 damage.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. We'll see. You guys are going to see a lot of Bobby. The next stream, I just play 4 different versions of the deck.
That'd be funny.
Okay. I'm done talking about it.
So the next card that we have in this new set here is Chandra's Hope's Beacon. 4 and a red, legendary planeswalker Chandra. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. That's good that they put the limit on there. +2, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Oh, that's cool for a planeswalker. +1, exile the top 5 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from among these exiled cards. -X. Chandra's Hope's Beacon deals X damage to each of up to 2 targets.
That's a phenomenal card.
As soon as she comes out, you could do 5 to someone or up to 2 targets.
Yep. She can bolt for 10.
Right.
Coming into play for 6.
The artwork is kind of neat too. I kind of like the very first artwork because it almost we were talking about like phoenixes there a couple episodes ago, and just this kind of reminds me of like the phoenix kind of bursting up.
Yep, I could see that.
Yep.
I do enjoy the artwork.
There's just the card does so much just overall. Like it's bringing you ramp, it's bringing you another copy, it's bringing you the ability to look for cards if you're out. It's got removal into it. I really think this is a great one.
Or even for 6, like I like all the abilities on there, even for the CMC.
At the minimum, you're really doing it for 4 because you're gonna net 2 mana as soon as you get it out, right?
That's very true.
So if you have the mana, like you're really only spending 4 of your available mana just to get it out initially. And even if you've got, let's say you've got 6 mana, you've got 3 blue, 3 red, as is it normally does. Even just doing this, being able to get an immediate 2 mana of any combination of colors, then you get your double brainstorm off or something like that. Like, I think it's extremely playable for sure.
I'm not a big red fan either. Or planeswalkers, I'll be honest, but
we'll get you there.
Who's gonna take the mommy?
Go ahead, Slothy.
Next up we got Elish Norn, 2 double white for a 3/5 legendary Phyrexian Praetor with Vigilance. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. And you can pay 2 and a white to sacrifice 3 other creatures, exile Elish Norn, then return to the battlefield transformed, activate only as a sorcery. And then it comes back as a saga, the Argent Etchings. First mode, incubate 2 5 times, then transform all incubator tokens you control. The second mode, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain double strike until end of turn. And the third is destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Exile the Argent Etchings, then return it to the battlefield with its front side up.
I like these reoccurring sagas.
Yeah,
that kind of just flip right back into their previous forms.
Well, and they don't just flip back; they re-enter the battlefield, which is brutal for some of these things. It's the Elish Norn I think is really strong. That flip ability gives you like the incubate as you make the incubator tokens, you put that many counters on them. So the flip is already giving you 5 2/2s, and then those 2/2s the next turn are going to get 1/1 and double strike. So you've got 10 damage on board already just from them flipping. Then you go to like 24.
Yeah.
5 3/3s with double strike. And then 30. You board wipe.
And the tokens, are they Phyrexians?
Yeah. And they're also artifacts.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so they're a lot.
I really like the alt art too. Actually, both the artworks are great for Elish Norn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the next few cards are going to look pretty silly being read because they're all sideways. It's okay. So my first thing before we even get into it, they've made the new they have made the new mechanic, which is battle, and it sucks. It's It's a trash mechanic. It's I haven't got the other guys' opinions on it, but it's a trash mechanic. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense.
We discussed it.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, do you know how battles function, Slothy?
Yep.
Why if Slothy puts a battle into play under Brian's control, all of us can target it. But if Slothy gets the effect for defeating the battle, why would anyone else target it? Like, if someone else defeats the battle, it should either go away so Slothy doesn't get it, or whoever casts the battle should get, like, the way that I'm going to play this battle. It's not even questionable. This is how it's going in my play group. Is that when this battle enters, like, let's say that Slothy casts the first invasion of Innistrad, he's going to get that ETB. But then whoever defeats the battle is going to get the flip side, because all of these, when they flip, they do it rather, because why would anyone help him defeat it if he's just going to get it?
I feel
it should be whoever.
I feel like
Sorry,
this is a mechanic designed for two-headed giant, I think.
Maybe. What I was saying is I look at everything like biased through the eyes of Commander. And this is a trash mechanic for Commander. It's really, really fun as a politics thing where if I put this into play and someone needs the backside of the card, they can try do it. Or the team can group up and not let me get my flip off and try defend it. But why? Like, it's more fun if someone can steal it from me, or if I can use it as a politics tool. Like, okay, Brian's got a scary board state, but I know that if I put this on Slothy, Brian's going to attack the battle because the effect of the battle would help Brian out more than attacking me would. It just, it seems sloppy. It seems not, I don't know, like, why would anyone go against, like, why everyone can target the battle, but why would anyone? If, like I said, there should be two ways to play it. It should be either if someone else defeats my battle, I don't get the backside of the card, or whoever defeats the battle gets the backside of the card. That's the way.
I think also there should be a turn limit to how many turns can go by with the battle or the invasion still on the field.
Okay, and then if you can't defeat it by then, you lose it.
Yeah, because an invasion doesn't happen forever.
True.
The invasion's only the initial part of it.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that, like, and then I'm able to put this down, say turn 4, but now we're actually like turn 10 or something like that, and I finally have my stuff to be able to target it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't remain.
And then they made like some weird rule as well that if somehow an invasion, like a battle, gets animated into a creature, it's not a creature. Doesn't even make sense.
How does a battle become a creature?
It doesn't matter if you can figure a way to turn it into a creature. Like, let's say that you put what is the word? Turns everything into artifacts. Do you know what I'm talking about, Slothy?
Oh, encroaching.
Encroaching Microsynth is one that does it. Yeah. It's a 6-cost one. It turns everyone's artifacts into combos with Karn. Microsynth Lattice. There we go. We get there. Get there. It takes a minute. But let's say we Microsynth Lattice the board, and then we play the card March of Machines, literally turning all of our artifacts into creatures. Or I Rise and Shine while this is an artifact. Rise and Shine turns all my non-token artifacts into, it turns all my non-creature artifacts into creatures, but the battles wouldn't become creatures because of their rule. It does make sense.
Is a battle a permanent?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a permanent. It has counters on it. Like, it's it doesn't make sense.
I wouldn't see it as a permanent again because it's a battle.
But it stays as a permanent because you got to defend it.
Oh, yeah. If I was Wizards, I would just say it's not a permanent.
Well, and okay, so here we go. We'll get into Invasion of Innistrad.
Yeah.
It's a 4 mana. It's got flash. It's 2 double black. When it enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -13 till end of turn. That's a pretty steep price for that ability. And then when you defeat it, all of these things have defense counters on the bottom. And so when you've defeated all the defense counters, it turns into an enchantment called Deluge of the Dead. When it enters, you create 2 black zombie creature tokens, pay 2 and a black, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature, create a zombie token. That's not a great mythic slot.
There's so much better cards. that do that already.
It's a pretty horrible mythic slot, personally, I think. Especially compared to the next one. Someone take the next sideways battle, please.
Sure, I got Invasion of New Phyrexia X White Blue Battle Siege. When Invasion of New Phyrexia, I'm gonna be honest, trippy reading like this. New Phyrexia enters the battlefield. Create X/2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. It has 6 kapow markers on it.
So again, that's solid. It's
that's a good ability.
Yeah, like you've got a token generator. It's pretty cool. It flips into.
And then Teferi, Akosa of Zelfir.
Mm-hmm.
+1, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. Okay, I like that. -2, you get an emblem with knights you control, get +1/+0, and have get out of here.
Right.
That is an amazing ability for a minus. Most emblems are on the ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but now onto the alt here. -3. Tap X creatures you control. When you do, shuffle target non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. I like that removal.
Yeah. Well, and that's solid removal for something indestructible or.
Yeah, get that Blightsteel out of here. I just got to tap 12 of my token knights.
Yeah, but again, like I said, the fact that like you can just put this down and if anyone destroys it, you get a Teferi.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's gonna be protecting that.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I said, if you put it down and then I'm able to kill the battle and I get the Teferi, that's a much more fun game.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, that has and the way that you're talking about it, that has pros and cons, and invasion doesn't always go in the invader's way.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it, because all of these technically are going to just stay around until you win.
Mm-hmm.
That you're already getting the ETB, and these are all enter the battlefield effects. And if anyone's ever listened to the show, I love enter the battlefield effects. If you've never heard me say it, trust me, it's there. I love them.
We could probably find a few snippets.
That's what I'm saying. Because again, this is, if you read this Invasion of New Phyrexia, when it enters the battlefield, you create X/2/2. So if you dump 10 into this with an Elish Norn in play, that's 22 twos.
And if you blink it. With the other Elish Norn.
The X on this one, you wouldn't be able to blink, but like if you blink the Invasion of Innistrad thing.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, like it's.
Or if you put it back to hand and then recast it. No, it has to be.
I don't know. It's a sloppy mechanic.
Yeah, I definitely think that they did not put enough thought into it because I really don't just see it how it can only go in the invader's way. I think that's just weird.
Well, and the other thing too is that like generally speaking, in the entirety of everything in Magic, if I dislike something, I remove it. That's the whole like it dies to removal joke. But removing like I remove your Invasion of Zalfir and then you just get Teferi?
Sounds balanced.
Yeah, like what's the upside to you protecting it? You're just going to swing recklessly at it or wait until you like can lightning bolt it down or something.
Oh, can you just lightning bolt it? It doesn't have to be an actual creature attack.
Yes, these things have defense counters. So there's some cards now say do damage to target player or battle, but anything that says any target is going to hit these. Yeah,
it's exactly the same as Planeswalkers.
If you have something like a Vampire Hex Mage where you take all the counters off something, that will immediately defeat them as well.
Yeah, like come on, Wizards.
You could technically proliferate the defense counters up higher, Brian.
That's funny. That is fun. That's my defense to them trying to defeat it.
Go undefended. It has 80 counters.
Vorinclex double all the permits that are put on it.
All right, Slothy, your turn
It's
to be
really
an owl.
funny.
Try read this one.
We got Invasion of Ravnica. 5 mana. It's a 4 defense counter siege. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. And then when it's defeated, it flips to Guild Pact Paragon, a 5/5 artifact creature construct. Whenever you cast a spell that's exactly 2 colors, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a card that's exactly 2 colors from among them, put it into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order.
I find that's a solid one that can slot in a lot of decks.
Yeah. Yeah, mini what is it? Niv Mizzet Reborn
Yeah,
effect
kind of
isn't too bad.
effect. The next one we have, again, so when I'm talking about defeating battles, Invasion of Chandelar's another one. 3 double green. It's a 4 counter siege battle, blah, blah. When it enters, return up to 3 target permanent cards from my graveyard to my hand. That's already going to be a great ability. But let's say that Brian's able to defeat it before me. Then Brian would get Leyline Surge at the beginning of your upkeep. You may put a permanent from your hand onto the battlefield. That's super great. That incentive, yeah, exactly. Then there's politics. Then there's, okay, I'm not letting you kill it, or hey, don't let Slothy get that battle. Let me get it. I really need this. I can help. It's so much more fun and so much more politics in the game if you do that, rather than just like, I'm going to eventually get this. So
Don't fight it, guys.
Yeah.
Like why fight it?
don't fight it. It's inevitable. It shall be mine. And I'm going to put that Blightsteel into play in my upkeep just because.
It's like the Borg. Resistance is futile.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to play the battles the right way. They seem like they suck.
I also think that all players should be able to defend if someone swings at a battle.
That could be fun too. Like I said,
because it's going to be everyone wants it, or everyone should want to win this battle.
I could talk about this all day, and like I said,
I guess we should move.
In my opinion, it should be that either if someone else defeats it, I don't get the effect, or they take it from me.
Yep.
Yeah. You know how funny it would be to take my Invasion of Chandelar thing because you guys team up and block me, and I try to swing it and kill it, and Brian paths the one thing, Slothy blocks the other, so that someone else can take my dump permanents. It's hilarious. It's so much more fun, so much more politics, and the game is the most fun when you're doing politics and talking with the table and getting out there, rather than just like, okay, well, this is in play for Slothy, and then I'm gonna just hope you guys could all defeat it for me.
Hey, Slothy, like Daniel's a problem here. Like, hey, I got some creatures that can deal with him if you let me actually get in and block him. Like, yeah, politics makes the commander go around.
Well, and who's going to politics into like, okay, Brian, like, let's attack the battle that Slothy has so I can get this card. And you're like, what's in it for me? I'm like, I get the battle. That's what's in it for you. And you're like, yeah, but what do I get? I'm like, to participate. You participate in my glory.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, it's
whole thing.
It's sloppy. It's sloppy, and I don't like it. All right, someone take the last owl battle.
Ooh.
Cassie.
Invasion of Tarkir, 1 and a red. When Invasion of Tarkir enters the battlefield, reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, Invasion of Tarkir deals X plus 2 damage to any other target. Where X is the number of cards revealed this way, X can be 6?
Can't be 0.
Is that it?
I think
X can be 0.
X can be 0?
X can be 0.
That's weird.
Well, because it's still going to be 2 damage. And then if we transform, we get Defiant Thundermaw, creature, dragon, flying, trample. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target, and it is a 4/4.
Again, something I would not want a dragon deck to have. I don't want anyone to have that. Yeah, Brian, your shapeshifter deck, yes, correct.
Question. If you know those guys, so say you put a battle onto someone, and then you know the morph creature that when it enters, everything turns face up or face down?
Ixodron, yeah.
Would that technically turn these battles face up?
No. Because again, the battles can't become creatures to turn face down. And technically speaking, cards have 3 faces. They have a morphed side, a front, and a backside. So the backside on most cards is nothing.
But the backside of this is amazing.
Yeah. I could see this one getting some play.
But you can see my thought process, right?
Yep. Slothy, you want to take this next one here?
Yeah. Next up,
all 3 of these.
Yeah, those artworks are great. I'm just seeing 2 of them now.
Third one looks like something from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really like. It looks Blue Eyes White Dragon on heroin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
your drugs, kids.
We've got Jingataxis, 3 double blue for a 5/5 legendary Phyrexian Praetor with Ward 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, draw a card, and you can pay 3 in blue to exile Jingataxis, then return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery, and only if you have 7 or more cards in hand. And it transforms to the Great Synthesis. You can draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size for as long as you control the Great Synthesis. The second mode is return all non-Phyrexian creatures to their owner's hand. And the third, you may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Exile the Great Synthesis, then return it to the battlefield front face up.
That's going to be a minimum of draw 7 then. It has to be. Every time you flip it over is a minimum of draw 7. So you're sitting there holding 14 cards in hand with no max hand size. And then you get an omniscience effect after you bounce all the creatures.
And you also get, like if you play a bunch of ETB stuff, you'll get a lot of that back to your hand that you can then play again for free.
Yeah. And again, these keep flipping and re-entering, right? So it's...
Yeah.
The middle one, it looks stunning. That's like the three different tiers of Phyresis. Like there's more oil the further you go up.
Oh, I like that a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. All of these artworks are great. I'd be happy to pull
descending into oil.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really enjoy all of these.
Every one of the Praetors, I think, is something I want to build this time. Even Urabresk, they didn't even make Urabresk suck this time. What kind of crack nonsense is that? The Urabresk is great. The Urabresk, a playable one. What, did I die? Gave me a Make-A-Wish on this one. Brian, do you want to take the next one here?
Yeah, I'll take the next one. I'm still just kind of looking over all of these cards. That I really enjoyed that. The
Djinn?
A Djinn, yeah. Especially if you play it with the other Djinn. You have no maximum hand size, draw 7 cards at each of your upkeep.
You'd be able to put that Djinn in for free.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. So we got... I missed my transform, but oh well, we'll try to get it here. Yeah, that's close as I can get. We got Kroxa and Kuranos. 3 red, white, black. Legendary creature, Elder Giant Dog. Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink. Whenever Kroxa and Kuranos enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile 5 cards from your graveyard. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It is a 6/6.
It's got really cool flavor text too.
When the invasion tree reached the underworld, it found only teeth and fury. Yeah. Because you gave the dog a bone, basically.
Right.
Or stick.
The constellation art is very cool. Yes, I think that's what we're going to say.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I that is one of the secret layers I regret not picking up is the constellations.
The constellation ones, yeah. We have
I like, sorry, just kind of a side note. I like how they themed a lot of these around their specific,
like initial cards.
Yeah. So like Kroxa and Kunaros is the constellation.
Because they're on Theros, and Theros is the constellation. Yeah.
Like Simone and Dina is the more stained glass-esque Strixhaven-y.
Yeah.
What was the word? Mystical Archive, I think.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
We got a Monastery Mentor reprint, 2 and a white, 2/2 monk with prowess. You guys get it, blah, blah, blah. It makes a token. Pretty great reprint. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this nonsense Shuldred. This is going to be something on like a Turgid level of just obnoxious.
I don't like the sounds of that already.
It's so we've got a 4/5 Phyrexian Praetor at 3 double black with menace. When Shuldred enters, each opponent sacks a non-creature, token, or planeswalker. I'm a fan. Then for 5, exile Shuldred, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery and only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. That's nothing in Commander, especially when you're making everyone sack things. And then it flips to this right here. +1, for each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker they control. Great. Number 2, each opponent discards 3, then mills 3. Disgusting. And then the third one is put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battle under your control, exile the true scriptures, then return it to the battlefield. So then it would enter again, making them sack another token or planeswalker. What a disgusting card.
I'm really enjoying that one too.
Mm-hmm.
It's so playable, right?
And the sack, like the alt art, is
the oil slick versions of these sagas are pretty crazy looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really enjoying them.
I didn't look at the Elish Norn one when we were up there, but it's also really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty great.
Next up, we've got Sword of Once and Future. 3 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from blue and black. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, surveil 2, then you may cast an instant or sorcery with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell will be put into your graveyard, exile it instead, and it has equipped for 2.
Yeah, the end of the sword.
I enjoy that name. Once and Future. I really dig that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not horrible. I like it.
Yeah.
Definitely the surveil is really good in a lot of kind of decks where you want to fill your grave up.
Yeah.
Meldrotha?
All of them. The next few cards, just absolute heat. So like I said, I'm building a lot of these. Number 1 is we've got Thalia and the Gitrog monster, and this is hilarious. I love every part of this because lore-wise, like the Gitrog ate Thalia. So it's hilarious that they would like team up and stuff. They're enemies. It is 1 white, 1 black, 1 green for a 4/4 human frog horror with first strike death touch. With you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tapped. And whenever Thalia and the Gitrog attacks, sack a creature or land, then draw a card. Every part of this is just a cool ability. The Gitrog's so fun to play. A lot of times you have to play around having to sack the land. You don't have to sack the land. You've got built-in draw. It's such a cool card.
Yeah. I actually like all of the abilities, and the colors make it very playful.
Yeah.
We've got 5 abilities at 4 mana and 4/4. First strike, death touch, extra land. Like we have an exploration in here. We have Thalia's ability of creatures and non-basics entering, which slow people down. And we've got built-in draw and a built-in sack outlet. Like, what an awesome card.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is another one of the ones I'm building. I'm building all of the Praetors. That's going to hurt my wallet.
Well, you're talking about the next one, so you might as well take
an
them.
Urbrus that doesn't suck. I don't mind if I do. It's 2 double red for a 4/4 with first strike. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it deals 1 damage to target opponent, and you add a red. That is so great. That's awesome. It's got Bergie's effect, but with damage built in, with mana ramp built into it. That's great. It doesn't trigger once a turn. It's not horrible like every other Urbrask is. It's great. 1, exile it, then return it to the battlefield owner's control. Activate only as sorcery and only if you've cast 3 or more instant sorceries this turn. So you're already built into playing Storm, which I like a lot. Like even if you're casting like a triple lightning bolt kind of effect, right? You're netting 3 mana. You can use that mana to flip Urbrask, which is super cool. It flips. The Great Works deals 3 damage to target opponent and each creature they control. That's a devastating effect. Its second creates you 3 treasure tokens in red. Yep. I'll take it. And it's third. Until end of turn, you can cast instant sorceries from your graveyard. If a spell cast this way, it would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Then you exile this and return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, face up. So again, when you're casting these things from your graveyard, you will have Urabrask's ability of damage and ramp. And the ability to re-flip him.
Yeah.
Grape Shot.
I like
go
that
nuts.
He kind of has like the Wolverine claws coming out.
Grape Shot go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this card a lot, actually, to be honest. It's going to make, especially, again, like I'm going into what the deck text should be. But this is like, you're not punished for any of your loot effects like you normally would be. When you loot, like a Faithless Looting, the best art in Magic, obviously. When you Faithless Looting and stuff, it's, you laugh at that. It's, when you do that, like, usually there's the downside if you've got to get rid of cards. But this is just, okay, I'll throw these out and be able to just recast them whenever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really like that one. The next, a lot of people said the next Vorinclex wasn't good either. They're wrong. They're very wrong. Slothy, please.
Sure. So this Vorinclex is 3 double green. It's a 6/6 legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor with Trample and Reach. When he enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forest cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle. 6 double green, exile him, then return to the battlefield transformed. Activate only as a sorcery. The first one in the Grand Evolution is mill 10 cards. Put up to 2 creature cards from among milled cards onto the battlefield.
Wow.
Solid. Second is distribute 7 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. And the third one, until end of turn, creatures you control gain pay 1. This creature fights a target creature you don't control, then exile the Grand Evolution and return it to the battlefield, face side up.
Which is 2 more forests. Every time it comes back, it's getting you more forests.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
That mill 10 and get 2 of the creatures milled is disgusting.
Yeah.
They re-released in the Aftermath boosters the different versions, and that Omori looks so cool. This is going to go in an all Omori creature deck for me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And
I really
also,
dig. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to go on to the next card. Please, you continue your thoughts.
I was going to say, speaking of things I care about, Realm and Renbreaker is 1 double green.
I really enjoy the story that we had last year. That's what I wanted to say.
Last year.
Not last year, last weekend.
It's been a day if it's been a year. Yeah. No, it's
early.
It is early. Lore-wise, this is really cool to know like what's going on with it, right? This is technically Ren and 8, but it's Ren and the Realmbreaker. 1 double green, lands you control have tapped to add 1 mana of any color. That is phenomenally playable, and the fact that there's no extra color restriction, anything just that needs green, that's great. This is going to be a 5-color staple for sure. It's awesome. We've got +1, up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental with vigilance, hexproof, and haste until end of turn. It's still a land. That's great. It can protect itself with lands. -2, mill 3 cards. You can put a permanent from among them into your hand. It's all right. It's okay. But the -7, you get an emblem with you may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard.
That's a great.
That's quite the emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you drop it in,
you
like
get Perma Muldrotha.
Yeah. And it's only not once a turn you can cast a certain type of spell.
Yeah, you get Perma Muldrotha on Heroine with lands you control. Or it's a lot. It's a great card. I really like it.
Especially if you drop it in like with doubling season, you can get that emblem on the first turn that comes
immediately.
out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this one's very playable.
Don't mind if I do. So the next card that we have here is Zimone and Dina. Black, green, blue, human dryad. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Tap it, sacrifice another creature, Draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more land, repeat this process.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I dig it. I actually really like
very,
this.
very playable. And that, like Slothy was saying, the plane-based alt art version, that the Mystical Archive looking one, that's so cool artwork-wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely one I want to build. Yeah, that's such a cool one.
And rounding out our mythic section here, we got Zurgo and Ojutai, and 2 blue, red, white for a 4/4 legendary orc dragon with flying and haste. It has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. And whenever 1 or more dragons you control deals combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You may return 1 of those dragons to its owner's hand.
In all honesty, when I first saw this card and I just looked at the creature type, I didn't read the name or anything. And I was like, how do you get an orc dragon? I was like, please tell me. It's just like, this is like, pardon?
It's okay. I can see how it would be fun, but that one's personally not for me.
No, I don't like the colors. I don't think I would really probably run that. But I do want to call dibs on the next card.
I was going to say, go ahead, Brian, with the next card, obviously.
Oh boy. When I saw this, I needed to post it. We had the Ancient Imperiosaurus, 5 and 2 green, creature dinosaur with Convoke, Trample, Ward 2. Ancient Imperiosaurus enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters for it. For each creature that convoked it. Let's go.
This can come down as a 20/20 for no mana.
2 green?
Huh? No, you don't need
for
the
2 green.
No, not if you've got 2 green creatures.
Convoke lets you do their colors too.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So Convoke.
I thought it was only 1 colorless.
No, 1 colorless or 1 mana of that creature's color. So again, you can drop this for this could be a 20/20 at 0 mana.
Now I understand why you're doing your math when you were like, it can come down to 20/20. It's like, Dan, you're usually really good with math.
Yeah. 5 times 2, the math's not mathing, Daniel.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was so stoked when I saw it. Plus the artwork for it looks great. I would not want to. Well, I'm not gonna anger this guy.
Yeah, that's a pretty mad dinosaur.
Yeah, but I was so excited when I saw it. I was like, that I need to make Atla again.
I'll
Dino Roulette go.
I'll take the next one so Slothy can have a better card. We've got Archpriest of Shadows, 3 double black, human warlock, 4/4, backup 1. When it enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. If it's another creature, they gain the following abilities. So Death Touch, and whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player battle, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Meh. It's okay. And they only get that ability till the end of the turn. It's okay.
Very Archpriest.
A lot of really cool legends in the set, though. You want this one here, Slothy?
Yeesh. You take this one because I want the next one.
Sure. We've got Ayara, Widow of the Realm, 1 double black for a 3/3 elf noble. It is tap, sack another creature or artifact. Ayara, Widow of the Realm, deals X damage to target opponent or battle, and you gain X life, where X is the sack to permanent's mana value. 5 and 1 red Phyrexian to transform. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return up to 1 target artifact or creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exile at the beginning of the next end step. I like it.
Yeah.
Lets you toss things, a little bit of black life gain, a little bit of reanimate for artifacts. I like it.
The Furnace Queen side on the storybook art
Looks so cool, right?
is very near perfect for me. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's really cool artwork.
That's the right-hand side one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks really good. I like the etch work on like the chest plate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The flavor text on it is also funny. Ayara cherished her new machine servitors just as much as she once did her many suitors. Not at all. Yeah, take this next one,
Um,
please. A really cool team up.
Yeah, we got Baral and Kari Zev, 1 blue and a red for a 2/4 legendary human. It's got first strike and menace. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lesser mana value that shares a card type from your hand without paying its mana cost. And if you don't, create First Mate Ragavan, a 2/1 red monkey pirate creature token. It gains haste until end of turn.
Monkey. Yeah,
Monkey.
it's so cool.
Monkey.
And
And I love that they came out with a masterpiece.
yeah, the masterpiece frame is so cool on it.
Yeah.
The statues of them.
I wonder if I'll get a masterpiece Ragavan token.
Ooh.
That's the dream.
That'd be cool.
Wizards, make it happen. So next up here we have Bloated Processor. 2 and a black creature Phyrexian. Sacrifice another Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloated Processor. When Bloated Processor dies, incubate X where X is its power. Create an incubator. Oh, yeah, we already know what this does. That's kind of neat. It reminds me of Zombie from Scourge or Onslaught. I can't remember his name, but you sacrifice a creature, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah. I really like the next one, this Phoenix, Bloodfeather Phoenix. 1 in a red, it's a flying 2/2, can't block, so all aggression. Whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control deals damage to an opponent, you can pay 1 red. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste till end of turn. That's just phenomenally aggressive.
Oh yeah, you can bolt someone and I'm bringing this back.
Yeah, it's always coming back.
I kind of like this in Hinata.
Yeah. Just always go silly.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Boonbringer Valkyrie, 3 double white for a 4/4 Angel Warrior creature. It's got backup 1, flying, first strike, and lifelink.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know this one here, Brian?
Sure. We got Breach of the Multiverse, 5 and 2 black. Sorcery. Each player mills 10 cards. For each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Then each creature you control becomes a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. All worlds will know perfection.
I would say that's quite playable.
I do enjoy that they're coming out with a lot more mill. Like it's making, like, you might actually be able to mill all players instead of angering a single person.
This not exiling itself, I think, is going to be quite the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too is that, like, with like a storm deck, like something like Kess, right? If you can play this 3 or 4 times, like, you know, everyone mills 50 cards, you get 5 creatures from each player. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing a deck that you copy your spells.
Well, and things can't interrupt the resolution of spells too, right? So if someone has something like, if I'm playing Eldrazi, Brian's favorite tribe, if you put one of my Shuffle Eldrazi in here, right? That's an effect that goes on the stack, but that doesn't happen in the middle of this ability.
Nope.
So you can take my Kozilek? Take my Kozilek for me? Nah, not today.
Funny.
We've got a new kind of version of Shark Typhoon, which I think is interesting. Chrome Host Seed Shark is 2 and a blue for a Phyrexian Shark, 2/4 with flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, incubate X, where X is that spell's mana value. So a giant token generator card. To be honest, I think very playable in like the mono blue Urza as well, because I guess you can mostly play 0 cost, so so maybe not as playable, but
next up, we've got a strictly better fiery, well, not strictly, but better fiery emancipation.
I would say it's better. It's pretty good.
City on Fire, 5 triple red. So it does cost 2 more, but it's got Convoke. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, deals triple that damage instead.
Having all of those out, like both,
and then Torbran and
Well, with Bobby, this is 5 times damage. The Bob Rigmos.
Back to Bobby.
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
Yeah. Everything is Borborigmos.
At least you learned how to say the name.
Yeah, from Slothy. You want this next one here, Brian?
Sure. Let me find it here. There we go. We got complete the circuit. 5 in a blue for an instant with Convoke. You may cast sorcery spells this turn as though they had flash. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell twice. You may choose new targets for the copies.
Storm go nuts.
Yeah, some of these power creep.
Oh, I got to take Slothy. You take this next one because I must speak of the next.
Yeah. We got Deeproot Wayfinder, 1 and a green for a 2/3 Merfolk Scout. When it deals combat damage to a player or battle, surveil 1. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that.
We have Dejeru and Hazaret. Let's go. Amonkhet, favorite plane. All day, every day. We've got 2 double red and a white for a 5/4 human god. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, Dejeru and Hazaret has vigilance and haste, so not horrible. And a throwback to Hazaret's ability. But we have, whenever Dejeru and Hazaret attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may exile a legendary creature from among them, put the rest on the bottom in random order, and till end of turn, you may cast the exile card without playing its mana cost.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
It's not even putting into play. So again, I can just for no downside except the financial, I can put every one of the Eldrazi in this deck, and then just aggressive. I'm already in the colors of Aurelia the War Leader, Mogus, or not Mogus, Morog, like all these extra combats, and this is whenever it attacks.
Yeah.
Whenever don't like that at all.
And I don't lose any of those 6 cards. They just go to the bottom. And I'm getting cast triggers. This is I'm building this one for sure. Even from with Joda and stuff, like anyone who listened to the Joda episode, there's a ton of great legendary cards, right? Mm-hmm. And getting cast triggers for free is awesome. Until end of turn, you may cast them. So even if you kill my Hazaret after I attack with it, I'm still getting that ability. It's great. This is a really, really cool commander.
I really enjoy that they're bringing the masterpieces back, because again, those are, I love them.
Oh yeah, Masterpiece Hazaret's going to go in this deck for sure. I got to buy another one now. This set's hurting me financially.
Where's my Genji Ito art?
Yeah, right. Yeah, Wizards. I haven't been a big fan of buying stuff lately as much, but this set is a bold exception to that rule of my spending. Yeah.
I'm really interested in the second card here, but I don't mind reading this one.
Well, I can take this next one if you
want. Okay.
Got no problem.
Merci, Miss yours.
We got Doomscar Warrior, 2 double green for a 4/3 human warrior with backup 1 and trample. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Both versions of the next card are beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm building this next one too for sure. I've already started the pile over here, and it's obnoxious.
That's true. I did call dibs on another creature, but that's on the
you
commander set.
No, I'm saying you read this one. I've just already started building it because I'm a bad person.
I know you are, and I love you nonetheless. Yeah. We have Drena and Linvala, which is 1, 2 white and a black legendary creature, vampire angel. Very weird team up. Flying, vigilance, activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. Drena and Linvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate these abilities.
It's disgusting. Number one is you throw a Korma spell in here and an Urborg, and you just wreck the game for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
No one
You know
can
what's
use their
hilarious?
lands, and I can use all their land abilities. Okay.
Yeah.
Eddie, I do love you. If you do listen to this, so he plays Memnarch.
Yeah.
I start turning everything into artifacts and taking it.
Like I said, this is one of the coolest artworks I've seen in both versions. For one of these, like, once I can't like decide which I like more of. Both of these are just so cool looking.
I do enjoy the left one more.
I just, like I said, I'm in love with the artwork of both. They're great. Both would be like great like wall prints too.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I hope that they do all of the. Now that I'm thinking about it, I hope they do all of these like alt art ones as the playmats for the set. That'd be great. That would also really hurt me financially.
Yeah. You do enjoy your playmats.
A lot, yeah.
Ultra Pro.
Yeah. So we've got Dusk Legion Duelist. Sorry, one and one white Vampire Soldier 2/2 Vigilance. Whenever one or more 1/1 counters are put on Dusk Legion Loyalist, draw a card. Triggers only once a turn. It's white. They couldn't let it be just good.
Right. They've given us way too much good white stuff already.
Yep.
Next up, this is a card I'm very excited for. Arendelle Giada, 1 white blue for a 2/3 legendary human angel with flash flying. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. I love
Very cool. Very playable.
it. Mm-hmm.
That is neat, actually. The very last ability, I like that.
Yeah.
Brian, I'll take the next one so you can have the one after it. Essence of Orthodoxy. Yeah. 3 double white Phyrexian 3/3. When it or another Phyrexian enters under your control, incubate 2. It's all right. It's pretty good.
That's neat, actually. I do like that. But what is it? Looking at it, it's like, to me, it kind of looks like a spaceship that it would drop troops on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
But let's go with this beauty here. I even love the alt arts. Like, that's cool.
The alt art on this one is so good.
It's
right.
Beautiful.
Etali, Primal Conqueror. 5 and 2 red, trample, legendary creature, elder dinosaur. Woof. Trample, when Etali Primal Conqueror enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they reveal a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. And that doesn't say this turn.
And it also doesn't say they get their cards back that it doesn't hit. So you're exiling all their lands.
Amazing. So we have 9 and a Phyrexian green to transform Etali, activate only as a 11/11 sorcery.
No,
Sorry.
Activate only as a sorcery and it flips into an 11/11.
Oh, woof. So let's flip this.
Ooh.
Oh, look at these artworks. So we have Etali, Primal Sickness, legendary creature Phyrexian, elder dinosaur, trample, indestructible. Whenever Etali Primal Sickness deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters.
Yep. So let's touch on this. This is a Blightsteel Colossus commander.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Right. Sure is.
In green and red, so you can ramp it. It's also a food chainable commander, because if you get Squee or Eternal Scourge, you'll exile everyone's entire library and play out all their spells.
Yes, please.
So that's pretty cool. And then it also is, if you have a Displacer Kitten out in this, you win the game card, because you'll again exile every card in everyone's deck.
I really enjoy the flavor text on this card too. The contagion spreads and the multiverse quakes.
This is a super playable card. And the artwork is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely one I'm going to have to build too. How many copies of Food Chain can I possibly have?
All of them?
Yeah, the next one's a reprint. We don't care about it. Brian, take the one after that too.
It seems like I'm going to be talking. You guys are going to get to hear my voice for a while. Oh no, do they have 3 different versions of this one?
They do, yes.
Oh wow. We have Galta and Mavrin, 3, 2 green, 2 white. Legendary creature, dinosaur vampire. Trample. Whenever you attack, choose one. Create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures, or create X11 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures.
And if you
I
forgot
love
to read
that.
its power and toughness there, Brian,
And it is a 12/12.
the 12/12 at 7, and a dinosaur that makes dinosaurs. Are you guys trying to kill
vampires?
Brian? Yeah.
It's a vampire dinosaur.
I wish they did give it 2 big fangs up front. I would have laughed so hard.
The medallion one of it looks so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna build this one for sure,
Mhm.
and I'm sure Brian's
Yeah.
probably also gonna build this one. To be honest, I'm pretty sure lots of people are
Tokens,
gonna build this
baby.
one. It's a 12/12 at 7 in colors that you can ramp to, and it does what needs to be done on its own. It's already making you tokens. It's token generation in 2 kinds. It's so cool.
And it has trample on it already.
It does have trample.
Mm-hmm.
Because why wouldn't you need the 12/12 to have trample?
I really dig the third art of it too, where Mavrin's like on
Hanging.
the side of its face.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like the side saddle like people do on horses.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. Do you want this Glissa Slothy or no?
Yeah, sure. It's Glissa, Herald of Predation. 3 black and a green for a 3/5 legendary Phyrexian zombie elf. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. You can incubate 2 twice, transform all incubator tokens you control, or have Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch until end of turn.
Let's we'll do a few more and we'll split it into a second part for next episode because there's a lot and I don't want to try rush through a bunch of these ones.
I like that Glissa.
Yeah, it's really cool, right?
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
really neat.
The transform is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really playable.
Yeah, like I get to, you don't have to pay the 2 for all of your different incubates if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you're also you're in the colors of your token doublers, right?
Yep.
So you're going to be able to parallel lives, double those up. It's going to be rough. And you've got the ability to double your counters too, right? With like a doubling season, because incubate is make those tokens with 1/1 counters on them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. We've
also like hardening scales, like all of those little cards, branching evolution.
yeah, I didn't even think about those ones. That actually would be a really fun deck. We've got Glistening Dawn, which is I love anything like this. 2 double green, incubate X twice, where X is the number of lands you control.
Decent.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That makes 2 pretty big creatures.
Yep.
For doubling season, I'm gonna make a lot more.
Yeah.
We got Grafted Butcher, 1 and a black, Phyrexian Samurai. When Grafted Butcher enters the battlefield, Phyrexians you control gain Menach until end of turn, or Menace for those who haven't been listening for long. Other Phyrexians you control get +1/+1. A Phyrexian Lord. Amazing. 3 and a black, sacrifice an artifact or creature, return Grafted Butcher from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Love it, actually.
Decent.
I'll take this next one here. Guardian of Juniper. We've got 2 and a white for a 3/3 angel. When it enters, exile up to 1 other target creature or artifact you control. Return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. I like Flicker. I'm all right with Flicker.
Yeah, you are.
Brian's learning to love the Flicker life.
I enjoy the 1 deck. It just makes so much land.
All right, Slothy, please.
Next up, we've got Heliod the Radiant Dawn, 2 double white for a 4/4 legendary enchantment creature god. When Heliod the Radiant Dawn enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card that isn't a god from your graveyard to your hand. And you can pay 3 and Phyrexian blue to transform Heliod, activate only as a sorcery. And he transforms into Heliod the Warped Eclipse, a 4/6 legendary enchantment creature Phyrexian god. You may cast spells as though they had flash, and spells you cast cost 1 less for each card your opponents have drawn this turn.
Temple Bell.
I love this one
That's
too.
a really cool card.
What are they doing here?
I really, really like this one.
Everything's group hug if you try hard enough.
Complete the god, complete the plane. The Johnny Goldman. Should be Phyrexian Johnny. But yeah, no, I might build this one.
It's very playable. I know you love enchantments, Brian. And look at that artwork, that constellation. Woo.
It's beautiful.
They don't have it on the same line for me, so I gotta.
Set's gonna hurt me financially.
Are you gonna Bernie Sanders it up?
Yeah, I am once again asking for your support. At this point, everyone has to join Patreon just so I can afford this next week.
Just so you go to 4 basic lands for all the decks you're gonna build.
that's I'm not even thinking land base. We're not there yet, Brian. It hurts. It hurts so much. Please send prayers and soul rings. The next one we have is Hitagetsu and Kairi. 2 blue, 1 black, 5/4 ogre demon dragon. That's pretty cool, Trabs. Flying when that card name enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in random order. So we've got an ETB Brainstorm. Love it. When Hidetsu and Kairi dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. I think that's super, super playable and fun. You've got top deck manipulation that is able to drain people for like huge amounts of life, and then also cast your big, huge, like enter the infinite kind of cards for free. Or even that Breach the Multiverse is 7 mana. I think this is a super playable, cool card.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with things like your Chaos Ghost forms, any of those things that when the creature dies, bring it back. I really, really like this. This is a very cool design space that I hadn't read yet.
There's so many neat cards already.
Yeah, we'll do the next 2 and then we'll cut for the week and we'll finish them up next week. But Slothy, you take one and then Brian can take the last one. Because Brian will love it.
So
I was really enjoying this next one too. I think that's actually really cool.
You take the next one then.
Sure. So we got the Hoarding Broodlord, 5 and 3 black dragon convoke flying. The Hoarding Broodlord enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may play it. Spells you cast from exile have convoke.
That's cool.
Yeah. I love the I'm gonna be interested to see if we do have other spells that search and exile this spell and you may cast it. Oh man, never mind.
That's pretty cool, right?
Throw that in if it can go in the dinosaur. All of my exiled spells have convoke.
True.
That's cool, actually.
And then Slothy, finish our last one for the week here.
Yeah, the next one we got is Inga and Asika, 2 green and a blue for a 4/4 legendary human god. Creatures you control have vigilance, and you can tap them to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card.
I'm in love with this.
Yeah, I like that.
The first art.
The first artwork, exactly. Yes, Brian. The first artwork with the rainbow cat chariots.
Phenomenal.
I want a foil version where just the rainbows are foil.
I'm gonna build this one for sure. I love ramp. I love draw. I'm gonna do a 3 CMC based deck.
Mm-hmm.
The Also, what's his face from the Dungeons and Dragons set? Mordecai?
Mordenkainen.
Yeah, Volo, where you get the draw for every different type of creature that comes into play, as long as it doesn't share a creature type.
Yeah.
So as long as the same color as that, as long as he's out and you're playing this and just tapping all your creatures, playing more creatures and drawing cards.
Yeah.
Oh, just going through.
This is 100% going into Tulane as well.
It's not even non-token creatures.
Yeah.
Just creatures and draw. It's awesome. I really like this. Yeah, I know that it's such silly artwork. It possibly is one of the coolest artworks I've seen, and I really hope that that's a playmat as well. I'll get my big long friend that one as a playmat for sure.
She would love it.
She would laugh so hard.
I'm gonna have to go and show my girlfriend this card.
Yeah, to be honest, when I do, it's usually her that I get to make the thumbnails. I'm probably gonna get her to Photoshop her face on both of the characters for this one.
Right.
Or her and Brian. They both love the cats.
Cats are the only pets to have.
Yeah. All right, but yes, like I said, I can really go on. We got a ton of battles going up, and we don't have another 20 minutes for me to complain about them. Save that for next week, but trust me.
The first 30 minutes were just about Borborigmos, and the other 30 minutes after that were just about battles.
Yeah. March of Machine spoilers, Bobby battles.
That's all the only two subjects.
Yeah. Bobbies and battles. There's, like I said, this set is going to really decimate my bank account. In pre-order stuff. Like I've already just been pre-ordering, not even cards from this set. And I think I'm already up to like a $700 list at like the LGS. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts so bad. Right. This is this is the commander set of the year, right? So generally speaking, they aim to please commander players with this one, and they did, at least in my opinion. I think Inga and Asika, my last point here is that that's the only one that I'm. The first version of it is so cool that the alternate version isn't. Like the alternate version looks great. It's a great looking card. It's really cool artwork, and it's very playable. But when you compare it to what the other one is, it's just so silly and awesome that you have to play the normal.
My only question about the second art is where's the cats?
Oh, I'm sure they're there somewhere.
So that's the question. It's somewheres. That is not a direct answer. I need the cats.
There does not look to be any cats.
Yeah. My only gripe with this is that it's not 5 color, so that I can play original Inga in it as well. But I understand why it's not 5 color because my brain works. Could you imagine if it was? That'd be nuts. But again, we needed a Simic good stuff card.
And if you put it in with the token doubling, like any of the ones from the Strixhaven set, I think it was the Strixhaven set, right?
Like Adrix and Nev, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, this is like I said, I'm gonna build a pretty stupid deck with this, and maybe I'll use Karuga as a companion.
That'd be cool.
What is Karuga?
Karuga.
3 and then hybrid. Starting deck contains only cards with converted mana cost 3 or greater and lands. Yep, playable. And when it enters, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted cost 3 or greater. I may build Karuga as Karuga and Inga. Karinga.
What about Asika?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll get there. I'm going to talk all day.
I only care about one of them.
Yeah, let me start hitting this outro music because I will not stop.
Sorry, one last thing. It should be Inga, Asika.
He only cares about one.
I refuse to let these things keep going. Thank you so much for getting to the end of the episode. If you like the content, check it out on our website, into99.com. We've got lots of really cool stream games coming up. We played some really fun ones. We're going to be doing a lot more of those. Probably a deck building stream coming up soon as well, so check that one out while me and Brian go through the new set of things. Like, share, subscribe. It really helps people to hear us and see what we're doing and stuff. We put lots of effort into this. If you want to go above and beyond that, check out our Patreon. Like I said, this set's really going to hurt me deeply, so maybe help me out. Yeah, we have a lot of really, really cool people we talk with, build decks with, and just discuss ideas with in general for our patron chat. We're going to be doing patron-only streams pretty soon, and we've got a lot of cool things coming up. So, yeah, definitely check it out, see what we're doing and stuff. Thanks to everyone who has been checking out what we're doing, stopping in on the streams. It really does mean a lot to all that. And yeah, thanks for getting to the end of the episode, because I never stop talking. If you got through my thoughts on battles, by the way, let me know what you think. Am I right or wrong? Like, are battles just a great and balanced thing, and I'm just overreacting, or do they suck? Because I'm pretty sure they suck.
They suck.
Yeah, I think they suck, right?
I think they're fine.
Slothy thinks they suck. Trust me.
It wouldn't be a true panel.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it in his eyes. Brian just blacks it out entirely. Yeah.
I do have the power on the Discord.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And again, have a great week. And yeah, we'll probably talk the next ones. We'll finish spoilers next one. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
There is.
Perfect amount of time. Intro ends. We're good to go.
Yes.
All right. Now, for everyone who's still here, you're great. Now, bye.